Hello and welcome back to building a space elevator again. It is time to talk about today's time lapse. Alright, so no particular order really. First things first, we started with trying to speed up resource gathering and assembling. So first off was refineries. I built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 refineries. And I put all yield mods on here except for this one apparently. So let's just get that fixed really quick. So the focus was definitely just to get our resources gathered a lot faster, refining our iron, gold, silver, nickel, silicon, all that jazz as quickly as possible, so we could follow by the assemblers here with speed mods. So then that way we could get the materials as quick as possible for our welding rig over there. But that quickly turned into more of a time lapse of me needing more power. With that being said, I just built a few towers here where we have kind of the turbine, the original turbine, and situated like this to get maximum optimal wind turbine powerage, I guess you could call it. So I have 2 of these towers and then have 3 of these solar panel towers. And these are the ones that are colorable and has the triangle, right angle triangle I want to say, and it's working out pretty okay. It took me a while to build it because the first one I built here has the oxygen farms. I can collect some oxygen from the sun. So that's why this one's here like this. And as you can see, I think it's a little bit too heavy. So it's kind of causing some issues here. So we might have to change the hinge torque just a little bit. Or I'm not sure why, but it seems to be always glued on somehow. But let's just change that. This is the custom turret controller for this one. So is there something wrong with it? We're aiming for the sun, so I'm not sure why it's not maximizing its potential here. But then again, it's not a solar alignment. It's more of a camera aiming at the sun. So it is aiming at the sun and it's just not getting enough sun ray for these things here. But these are doing okay. And this one's doing okay as well. So that's kind of interesting how that kind of works out. I really do think it's a bit on the heavy side, which is why it's doing this kind of odd angle. But oh well, we'll leave it as that. But yeah, we definitely needed more power because the whole entire base was sucked dry of power from the refineries and the yield mods. Of course, yield mods does take a lot of power. And as you see here, my only base battery got completely dried out. It has currently no stored power or anything like that. So there's a problem there. Well, right now it's not storing because we're recharging a few things. We're recharging our miner ship here, which has been helpful gathering lots of things like silver, silicon, nickel when we needed it, and we did need it. And I updated this tower with the original turbines as well. A lot easier to make optimal than the newer version, the twin turbines. I feel like because the twin turbines are like extra big in kind of like the length of it, so it takes like, what's it, 5 blocks across? Yeah, 5 blocks across. And it feels like when you lay it down like this, anything underneath it is gonna block its wind. They're like right out here will block the turbine from being optimal. So guess that doesn't really work out too much. As much as that looks nice, it doesn't work out very well for power. So we have 3 fully sourced out turbine towers that have 5 of these wind turbines. And then 3 solar panels. And that should really charge up the base as long as there's nothing refining and everything like that. But once it does refine, it does suck up all the batteries. But these batteries are currently charging as well. And we're almost fully charged, I think. And these solar panels are also helping too to get some power because we are connected to the connector here. So of course that gives us the ability to get some energy from that to pass along to the whole base as well. But we did run out of a lot of power into this thing, although we don't need a lot of power when we're using the inchworm technique. It uses very minimal power, to be honest, which is great. But I kind of want to change it up and add some atmospheric thrusters. So I added small ones initially, the regular small ones. So this version, no, this version. And 2 going forward and 2 going backwards did absolutely nothing. Especially when there was a lot of materials in the cargo container. When there's very little stuff in the cargo containers, it'll either move, but when you fill it up, forget it. It doesn't want to move because it's gripping onto the landing gears like this, and potentially it broke a little bit of the rail as well. So I don't know how that's gonna work eventually, but if we pack this thing up with too much steel plates, even these large newer turbines, and not as powerful as the really big one, but these were able to move it slightly. I could always put the larger one eventually, but again, when it's too heavy, it does break the rail a little bit. But it broke from here mostly, and it could be because of the piston. So I've got rid of the whole piston system and did this whole atmospheric thrusters or eventually hydrogen thrusting. We could potentially push it forward, but it's more or less of a test, because when it's too heavy, potentially things will break. So we gotta be careful of that. So next episode, I'm probably gonna experiment with it a little bit more, but I am likely gonna keep the inchworm piece to it, because that, again, very minimal resources needed for moving it forward and backwards. Or potentially I make another one right behind it, or forward in front of it, so I can just keep that as steel plates only to go forward, and the one behind it will do the piping system, because it does use different materials, and it'll be easier to carry just one type of material for the steel plates, because it does need a lot, and the piping system needs a lot of other materials, such as that interior plates, construction components, small CO2s, motors, and more interior plates. So that is when you fill everything up here. Absolutely unable to move it. Inchworm technique is able to move it. So you have some battles here to kind of work out. But I do really want it to work with the thrusters. I think if we do a upward thrust, that might help out a little bit. But eventually I'm going to change these out to the hover engines anyways. And hopefully the hover engines can hold the weight. If not, then I don't know. I'm going to have to line up a whole bunch of them, and hopefully they do hold up against this rail. So that's pretty much this time lapse. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you guys know what to do, and that's like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.